Hello and welcome to our last news bulletin for the week. My name is Bernard Manza. Our top stories. Pope Francis tips entrepreneurs to build business models on the culture of encounter. Cannabis Regulatory Authority lobbies for legislative amendments on cannabis laws. High Court in Lilongwe adjourns Henry Musa and Gideon Muntali's bail application hearing pending appeal to June 6th. And in this week's exclusive report, we are unveiling how the Catholic Relief Services has supported the cyclone-free displaced households by providing them with temporary shelters. We have these and many other stories. Stay there. Pope Francis met with members of the Latin American Business Council on Thursday, where he urged the entrepreneurs to look to the gospel to find hope and direction in their business endeavors. He said work must be founded on a culture of encounter which encourages people to seek the common good. This was the annual assembly of the Business Council of the Latin America, which took place at the Vatican. We have a Vatican News report read by Tandiwe Nzumara.
In his address, the Holy Father urged entrepreneurs to build a network guided by the gospel and founded on hope. He noted that the annual assembly addressed themes such as migration, climate change, and integral human development, adding that these problems can be found in all other parts of the globe. The Holy Father said the exchange of ideas can help them join forces to deal together with problems which are currently common to the entire human family. On creating culture of encounter, Pope Francis said a business model that imbibes a culture of encounter can put aside any shadows that creep into the workplace, including an excessive drive for profit which seeks to enslave workers. The Pope said the values of a culture that respects others are then translated into countless daily sacrifices and efforts to help others grow. He then urged the Latin American entrepreneurs to offer ongoing formation and education for their workers in order to avoid conflicts and the pain of redundancies, since every worker represents a family with concrete financial needs. Pope Francis said the choice to hold the assembly in Rome offered participants the opportunity to encounter firsthand the many apostles buried in the eternal city, including St. Peter.
Tandiwe Nzumara there with a Vatican News report. The World Bank has approved $265 million, which is about 270 billion Malay kwanza, for Malawi to be used for establishment of 6 irrigation schemes and for supporting an additional 560 productive alliances that target more than 112,000 households. The new financing is part of Phase 3 of the Regional Food Systems Resilience Program for Eastern and Southern Africa. The regional program has an overall envelope of $2.75 billion, which aims to increase the resilience of food systems and preparedness for food insecurity in the participating countries. Helbert Kadanda reports.
The regional program provides a platform for cooperation and cross-learning along a number of pillars, which includes rebuilding agricultural productive capacity, better managing natural resources, getting to markets, and improving national and regional policies to enhance resilience. In Malawi, the program will scale up many of successful interventions and approaches of Malawi's agricultural commercialization project as a means of enhancing national and regional food systems resilience. It will also introduce new elements, including climate-smart agriculture and irrigation systems, investments in research and extension services, as well as support to the authorities to implement resilience-enhancing policy reforms. Hi Rodwell, World Bank Country Manager to Malawi, said the AGCOM will deliver on Malawi's Vision 2063 score goal of agricultural transformation. In Malawi, the project is expected to prioritize building climate-resilient infrastructure that is designed and built in a way that anticipates, prepares for, and adapts to changing climate conditions, since Malawi currently depends largely on rain-fed agriculture. Minister of Agriculture Sam Kawale said government expects the scaling up of some interventions within the new projects will likely have a great impact on the overall economy. The FSRP for Eastern and Southern Africa has already committed close to $1.7 billion in the first 3 phases of its program. Comoros, Ethiopia, Kenya, Madagascar, Malawi, Somalia, and Tanzania are being joined by the African Union Commission, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, and the Center for Coordination of Agricultural Research and Development for the Southern Africa to help facilitate learning and action across borders. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, I'm Helbert Katanda.
The Cannabis Regulatory Authority, CRA, has decried the legislative divergence on Indian hemp with a sensitization drive for Cannabis Regulation Act. Public Relations and Marketing Manager for the authority, Excel Zidana, was reacting to a statement by Lilongwe Police publicist Hastings Chigaru that police and other stakeholders shall probably set ablaze the Indian hemp impounded by police with some suspects. Robert Edward has more in this report.
Police in Lilongwe have arrested 2 people for being found in possession of 3 bags and 5 cartons of Indian hemp, and according to Lilongwe Police spokesman Hastings Chigaru, the 2 will appear before court shortly, and where the magistrate directs, so the hemp will be burnt down in front of police and other stakeholders. However, this did not go down well with Cannabis Regulatory Authority, CRA, which expresses misgivings with the act of the criminal justice system on disposing the hemp. According to the authority's spokesperson and marketing manager, Excel Zidana, the development depicts that 3 registrations are not talking to each other on the matter. He has told Luntha TV on Friday that the Cannabis Regulatory Act, Dangerous Drugs Act, and its sister acts are not speaking the same language on Indian hemp, and law enforcers sometimes tends to use the other act that criminalizes the possession of Indian hemp, while other regulations accepts growing, processing, and transportation of the same. He has since indicated that the authority is lobbying for amendment of laws that are criminalizing possession of chamba. For Luntha, this is Robert Edward.
Ambassadors Charity Trust ACT has called on government to leave the talk behind and show seriousness in incorporating the youth, address their challenges and empower them if the country is to achieve the Malawi 2063 agenda. In an interview with Luntha Television, ACT Executive Director Blessings Chiwosi said the country has good youth policies that can empower the youth in various aspects of life, but there is a need of implementing such policies. He said when the youth are eager to do something that can contribute to this further actualization of the Malawi 2063, some stakeholders and leaders in the local areas are reluctant to collaborate with them. Charity Chilanga has more in this report.
Throughout the world, youths are stepping up to take leadership roles in pursuing environmental, educational, political, and economic change. According to ACT Executive Director Blessings Chiwosi, youth are identified in Malawi 2063 as key actors who must be prepared to create a better future for all Malawians. Chiwosi said the government must be committed to the holistic approach required to help more and more youth reach their full potential so that in turn, the country can reach its full development potential. According to Chiwosi, government should get very practical actions on the strategies and involve the youth who are showing that they are ready to make a difference in their communities, and that position bearers who are not showing seriousness in empowering or incorporating the youth should be kicked off and take those that are showing interest to work with the youth. Chiwosi further urged the youth to be willing to take initiatives to start so as when help comes, it should just revamp which is already in them, as empowerment does not necessarily say they don't have the potential, but they just need to be enhanced. According to Chiwosi, youth must be determined and prove in themselves that change should come and be manifested in the country.
We have realized that the youth themselves, though they are the ones who are supposed to be beneficiaries, that they have to be empowered, and they cry for the same, but they are not really ready at times. Not all of them, but I can confidently say that most of them are not ready.
Reports indicate that youth are vital actors who actively participate in their families, communities, economy, and national life, and they must therefore lead healthy, informed, and productive lives. Charity Chilanga, Luntha Television, Lilongwe.
You're watching the news on Luntha Television, and we'll be back after this short commercial break.
personal growth to business solutions, there is no limit to what you can imagine. It's time to reimagine banking. Centenary Bank, our bank.
Welcome back, and you are with me, Brennan Mwanza. But before we proceed, let's look at our main stories once more. Pope Francis tips entrepreneurs to build business models on culture of encounter. Cannabis Regulatory Authority lobbies for legislative amendments on cannabis laws. High Court in Lilongwe adjourns Henry Musa and Gideon Muntani's bail application hearing pending appeal to June 6th. And in this week's exclusive report, we are unveiling how the Catholic Relief Services has supported the Cyclone Freddy displaced households by providing them with temporary shelters. Moving on, the Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiatives, CEDED, Executive Director Sylvester Namiwa, has urged President Lazarus Chakwera to direct Minister of Homeland Security Ken Zikale Ngoma to stop victimizing fellow Africans under the guidance of implementing laws and regulations governing refugees and asylum seekers. Namiwa made the sentiments today in Lilongwe during a press briefing where he said it is strange that Malawi government is revoking citizenships for industrious fellow Africans who are making positive contributions towards healing the country's ailing economy, while Kenya is welcoming fellow Africans by removing visa restrictions. Faris Chizombe reports.
Namiwa said it is worrisome on how government is hunting down refugees and asylum seekers like rats, shoving them into trucks to Maula prison, including children, pregnant women and even the sick, without food and proper beddings amid harsh weather conditions. He said it is of great shock to hear that government is revoking the refugees and asylum seekers' citizenship without any good reason, which is suspicious that the Malawi government has a hidden agenda against Rwandese and Burundis. Namiwa further mentioned that CEDED has written the Minister of Homeland Security demanding the list of affected naturalist citizens and the proof of prior communication indicating reasons for the revocation of their status.
In the spirit of Ubuntu and a mere fact that we are part of the African community, it beats human understanding and comprehension that in this day and age you can have African leaders literally harassing fellow Africans for no apparent reason. It is strange because it is happening barely a few weeks or days after we saw the same government led by Minister Ken Zikale Ngoma literally hunting down fellow Africans as if they are rats.
Namiwa has since asked Chakwera to stop the exercise and revocation of the citizenship of the 396 refugees and asylum seekers whose papers were processed. For Luntha News, this is Faris Chizombe.
The High Court in Lilongwe has adjourned to 6th June a hearing on a bail application pending appeal of former Minister of Information Henry Musa and former Director in the Ministry of Information Gideon Muntari. The development has come as the state provided their written submissions late for the defense to reply, which led to the defense lawyers asking for the adjournment of the case. The two were convicted and sentenced of conspiracy to steal and receiving stolen goods in relation to the missing of 10 computers and a genset at the Ministry of Information. We have more in this report by Jacqueline Saidi.
Speaking in an interview following the adjournment, one of the state lawyers, Dzikondiantu Malunda, said that they are not objecting the plea by the defense, but rather hearing their side as they need more time to scrutinize the provided affidavits.
Indeed, today the bail pending appeal application by Henry Musa was supposed to come for hearing, but the defense have indicated that they need more time to look at the affidavits that we submitted to court and probably make a response to the issues that we have raised therein. So the matter has since been adjourned to Tuesday, 6th June 2023.
On the side of the defense, one of the lawyers, Crispin Mdala, confirmed to asking for the adjournment of the case due to the delay. Mdala said they want more time so that they can thoroughly go through the submissions by the state.
Indeed, today, the court, the Honorable Judge had set today for the hearing of two bail applications, one for Mr. Henry Musa and one for Mr. Gideon Muntari. Basically, you will recall that the two were convicted later last year, and indeed, their conviction does not necessarily preclude them from applying to the court to be considered for a release pending the hearing of the appeal. And I can confirm that the two have indeed made or filed with the court an appeal. So today, what transpired is we served responses very late, just as we were about to get into court, responses by the state.
The two, Musa and Muntali, were sentenced to 3 years in prison for conspiracy to commit a felony and 6 years for theft by a public person. The charges came from the theft of 10 computers and a genset from the Ministry of Information in the time of the Democratic Progressive Party. For Luntha Television News, this is Jacqueline Saidi.
Now to our last item. Catholic Relief Services has come to the aid of about 450 Cyclone Freddy displaced households in Chikwawa, Nsanje and Zomba districts by providing them with temporary shelters to support them start resettling down in their respective homes. Recently, the Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DODMA, started decommissioning camps that were housing the Cyclone Freddy internally displaced households in all the affected districts in the southern part of Malawi. This prompted CRS to identify and train 90 local artisans who have been supporting in the construction of the temporary shelters in the homes of the affected people in the said 3 districts. Here's Bridget Manoka with this week's exclusive report.
The 450 temporal shelters are part of the Rapid Emergency Response Program, in which CRS, with support from various donors and its partners, has been supporting Cyclone Freddy affected households with assorted non-food items, as well as protection and safeguarding measures. In total, CRS has reached out to 12,050 households, comprising of 53,020 individuals with non-food Cyclone Freddy relief items in Blantyre, Zomba, Chikwawa and Msanje districts. Stelia Sande from Muchatayika village, TA Malimia in Msanje, is one of the people who have been provided with a temporal shelter.
I'm feeling so good that now I have a shelter. My house was washed away, but now I have a roof on my head.
One of the 90 local artisans are trained by CRS to support in the construction of the temporal shelters in Msanje district, Lexon William Mugavi, describes the training as an eye-opener.
This training has helped us a lot, and it won't end here. We'll be able to extend this talent and help others when they need shelters.
Msanje Parish Priest Father Tobias Mbarare says he is grateful to CRS for the support, which he said has alleviated sufferings of people at Msanje Catholic Primary School camp.
Our people here, we are really suffering. They were in dire need. Now to receive such a tent is of great importance.
In Chikwawa district, Limiton Importo from Ziribaine village said he lost his dignity due to lack of shelter after Cyclone Freddy had destroyed his house.
We were among the victims of Cyclone Freddy, and it devastated a lot of families here. My house fell down. We were at the camp, but now it is an exciting moment that we are back and staying in these temporary shelters.
Both Father Matthews Semba, Chikwawa Diocesan Director for Social Services, and Kadecom Shelter Coordinator Louis Msianungu have appealed to the project beneficiaries to take good care of the temporal shelters.
As you have already witnessed, the people that are living on the camps are living really rough. They don't have anywhere, even the makeshift little tents that they have, not tents actually, they're just like huts that are made using just grass. The situation is dire there, and with the coming of this aid, we are really grateful and happy.
Shelters are important because as we are decommissioning the camps, a lot of people have their households destroyed, as you can see like here. Now these people need privacy. And in this case, the household we have here, they keep 3 or if not 4 orphans, and the children have nowhere to sleep. So it will be very good that the people, as they are returning back to their homes, they are having a better shelter where they can sleep, but also their privacy is respected.
In Zomba, a total of 260 households have been provided with temporal shelters. Luce Sulumba is one of the beneficiaries.
I'm so delighted because I could have died. My house fell on me while I was sleeping at night.
Taking his stand, Group Village Head Godfrey, while thanking CRS for the timely support, he has appealed to other humanitarian agencies to follow suit. He said a lot of people are in dire need of the temporary shelters after the decommissioning of the camps.
This is a welcomed development. It was a tragedy because a lot of houses were washed away. We didn't have any hope.
Diana Konde is CRS Programs Manager.
What motivated us to start teaching people to build these houses was that when we went in the communities that are frequently flooded, we noticed that there was a pattern whereby people were constructing houses, not really following the resilient way of construction. We noticed that people build houses without deep foundations, and we noted that houses that they're building, they are exposed to rain. So we felt to say that if we can give the local artisan the correct expertise of construction, that will help us to make sure that people really construct houses according to the proper resilient way.
CRS has been implementing the interventions with funding from USAID, BHA, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, CRS Humanitarian Response Department, HRD, and CRS Southern Africa Regional Office, SALO.
That was Bridget Manoga with this week's exclusive report. And that's all we had in this edition of the News Bulletin here on Luntha Television. But before I go, let's look at our main stories before we go. Pope Francis tips entrepreneurs to build business models on the culture of encounter. Cannabis Regulatory Authority lobbies for legislative amendments on cannabis laws. High Court in Lilongwe adjourns Henry Musa and Gideon Muntali's bail application hearing pending appeal to June 6th. And in this week's exclusive report, we are unveiling how the Catholic Relief Services has supported the Cyclone Freddy displaced households by providing them with temporary shelters. And our wise word for today: if you are patient in a moment of anger, you will escape 100 days of sorrow. Actions and decisions taken in moments of anger aren't the best. They can bring great misery. Wait for your anger to pass and then act or decide. Thank you so much for watching, and in a special way, let me thank Yamika Nyambo for producing the news, and of course Andrew Pound in the final control center. This has been Brand Manza. I wish you a lovely weekend.